Is Dawn listening today?
She is aware that I'm here. I don't know if she'll be listening, though.
So you may be able to say real things about her.
Yeah.
And we're going live.
We're
All right,
live.
I'm going to start the audio for the show now.
Okay.
Tell me you love me, I need a good laugh. I'm holy water, you need a good bath. Whiskey and perfume, you had a nightcap. Now how about that? I've got a new friend, a perfect stranger. He's got a bullet with your name in the
I don't see
chamber.
it.
I'm body hooking, rearranger.
Rocky.
You be
I
my
see it.
danger.
Oh,
got
you
it?
pulling it up. Okay.
It shows it's up here.
I got it.
There it goes. I got it.
There's probably just a small delay.
Oh, yeah. Now we got a split screen. You got a split screen on yours?
That's normal.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh. How come I never saw it?
Because you don't ever watch our show.
That's true.
What time is it? It's Nooner time. Welcome
Gosh,
to the
is it
Nooner Show with
cold.
J-Dubs and Rocky.
And Gina.
To get nice
From
and
the
close.
Podcast Detroit studios.
Said it'll be at 69 degrees in like 2 hours. So sorry,
2
guys.
hours? Right.
Great.
Not helpful.
What time is it? It's Nooner time. Somebody bring me a mirror.
Somebody fixed Jackie's hair.
Still not fixed?
It's fine. It just went. It was like went with the
For what?
song. Somebody bring.
So,
Never mind.
It didn't.
I was trying to be cute.
And it's hump day.
Happy hump day.
Wednesday.
Happy hump day.
I made it.
Yes.
I made it another Wednesday.
Were you not
that the
planning on
celebration?
coming today
Like-
or what?
No.
Oh,
I was
okay.
going to be here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Was there something we didn't know?
We're glad you're here.
Did you get a better offer? Skate night today.
Yeah, you know,
Right.
really.
Skate night tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it's
Anywho.
Black History Month.
So it is.
It is. And so we
So it is.
decided that each week one of us were going to pick somebody that we absolutely admired and celebrate them. Mm-hmm. So I got the first week, and
Who'd
I
you
know
pick?
You're never going to guess.
Well, I already know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one even
I
had to
already
tell
know.
me.
We all
I already
know.
know.
Barry Gordy.
Her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Barry
Yeah.
Gordy.
We need some like porn music.
Right.
Oh, stop
it.
Yeah. We'll get to that when we talk about the halftime show, right? I don't know.
I watched it like 18 times. I was like, oh, I'm drooling, and I'm like. Then I tried to dance like Shakira.
Yeah.
I was like, jump,
Everybody
I'm like doing
did.
it. He's like, no.
No.
I was like texting. He's like, no. I'm like, you're not even looking. He goes, I already know you're not doing it.
Oh, gosh.
All right. So why did you pick Barry? I already know. We already know.
Yeah.
Tell everybody why you
Yeah,
picked
tell
Barry.
everybody.
No,
else.
not if you already know. Forget it.
Okay, let's
They
move
don't
on.
know. Tell everybody else.
Okay, so make a long story short,
Mm-hmm.
I really learned about Barry Gordy the first time I went to the Motown Museum, took a tour Hitsville because of John Paul. Really, he was really into it, and we took him to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland a couple times, and along with Rocky. And he was not that impressed. He wanted to go to Hitsville, so we went there. And when I learned about what Barry Gordy did during that time, you know, late 50s, early 60s, and what he accomplished, he wasn't a musician. He was actually in high school. He was a boxer. He dropped out of high school, but he had this talent for songwriting. Started his first business. It failed, so he went to work in the factories on the assembly line, and he would write songs in his head while he was working on the assembly line. He borrowed $800 from his parents. They were entrepreneurs and really hard workers. Borrowed $800, started this business again, went back into the business. Within 6 years, now this is in the 60s, he was generating $20 million.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Wow.
And you really have to read the whole story and the whole, I mean, it's
Go experience
just,
it at Hitsville. Yeah.
You do. You
The
have to
energy
go
is,
there.
like,
I mean,
insane.
I'm a member now. It just fascinates me, absolutely fascinates me. His persistence, his mind, his resilience.
His money.
Yeah. He didn't have any. It's
Well,
all
yeah.
self-made.
When we went to the auction, Barry Gordy's house, when we broadcast live from there, and you ended up with a table. And she's like, well, this is the table that Barry Gordy and Diana Ross did it on.
Yeah.
It was in their bedroom.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it was in their
okay.
bedroom.
She created this whole story.
No, no,
Oh, yeah.
no. I have the. It doesn't say that that's what
Yeah,
they did on
yeah.
it, but,
Right.
but I do have the certification
Yes.
with the picture of the
Yes.
table in their bedroom. So yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
a shrine now.
It is.
We're not allowed to touch it.
No,
look at it.
no,
breathe
no,
in
no,
the
no.
room.
Right.
Yeah.
nope. So anyway,
I've been to her house, your house many
Yeah.
times. Never seen the table.
'cause you can't.
You haven't seen the table?
Nobody's
Never
not
seen
allowed
the
to
table.
touch it.
Oh. Well, at least I saw the
Yeah.
table.
I'll
But that
show-
was
I'll show
before
it to
she
you
got
next
it,
time.
so I probably
show it
can't
to
see
you.
it anymore.
It's
No.
in a it's in a private room.
Temperature control.
Exactly. No, but seriously, to me, I think everybody, well, especially every musician, should take a tour through Hitsville because
every
it's
entrepreneur.
Yeah, but every entrepreneur should too, because what he created and really the legacy that he created carries on today. He affected people around the world. He changed so many people's lives. And actually, in this month's Rolling Stone magazine, Detroit is listed as one of the top 8 cities with best live music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's
yeah.
nice.
Along with Nashville, Chicago, New York, but Detroit is listed one of the top
Wow.
8 in Rolling Stone magazine.
That's
I have
awesome.
it with Lizzo on the cover.
Lizzo's on the cover.
Yeah, but
I
you know
did
what?
see
We
that.
can thank
And of
Barry
course-
Gordy for that.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
Oh,
started
that's
it.
quite the
Yeah,
picture.
that's
Yeah.
Lizzo. But we know her. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was who I picked to celebrate. And there were there were so many people.
Well,
but you
Yeah,
know.
there's a lot of black people in the world. Yeah,
I wanted to celebrate you, Nora.
well, that's okay. I feel
But
celebrated.
anyway, so
when is Italian month? When is that?
yeah, one is
Yeah,
it?
one is Italian.
I don't
month. That is
know.
some BS.
Yeah,
Every week.
really.
Yeah.
We should. Let's create it.
Yeah.
All right.
You should start one.
We could.
And
I
then
bet they have it. We'll
Yeah,
have
we
to
should
look
look
it
it
up.
up. So?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have to look it up.
Okay.
We've got
Yeah.
our weekly celebrations. We'll have to
We
look and see.
do.
We probably come up with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
If not,
But
we're making it up. It'll be a hot and spicy month like August.
There you
I
go.
think you guys should have a month.
We'll just bring
though.
some
There-
pasta
there you go.
in,
Yeah.
some homemade
Mm.
meatballs.
Yeah.
Get nonna cooking.
Yeah. I'm
There you
hungry.
go. So anyway, it
Anywho.
was the
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
I
yes.
didn't see
All
any of
you
the
f-
commercials. I didn't
No.
watch the
What?
game. No.
You didn't?
No.
You're a commercial fanatic.
No, I was
thought you
watching a
would've-
movie on
Really?
on Amazon.
You didn't watch Demi Lovato? Oh,
Yeah,
come on,
I did
let's
see
talk
that.
about her
I did
for a
see that. She
minute.
did. She was great.
She was
I did go back and watch it. I
Unbelievable.
cannot watch the national anthem live.
Yeah,
I recorded
she,
it.
She did a good job. She did.
Yeah.
I did see that.
She did a
She's just-
great
I just saw
job.
and I saw the halftime show, and that was it. I didn't.
Yeah, that's all I did.
Yeah.
Too.
yeah.
Mhm. I went
I
got
don't know what-
snacks, watched the beginning, went back down for the middle part.
I did.
And
I
that was
wanted
it.
the Chiefs to win, and the Chiefs won.
You know, I don't even know who was playing.
There
Yeah.
you go.
This
I'm
is
with you.
how bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in China, so I also
You were?
I also watched it afterwards.
Did you
recorded
hear?
it and
Did you
saw
hear
it.
about what's the guy? I don't know what. See, I don't know anything about football,
Mm-hmm.
but one of the players, he paid for. He went to a shelter and
Mm-hmm.
he paid for all the dogs, so people could just come in and die. He paid for like all the paperwork. they
Oh,
have
the
to pay for-
adoption
Oh,
fees
for the
Oh,
whole shelter.
Really? Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It was on the news
Wow.
last night.
That's
Oh, I
really
didn't
cool.
hear that.
Yeah,
Aw.
so people
Cool.
could just come in and get a dog.
Oh,
Aw.
that's amazing.
Wow.
It was nice, and
Wow.
they pretty much cleared it out. I think they
Wow,
No
that's awesome.
kidding.
Aw.
That's really cool.
All right,
is
I want to
cool.
talk about the halftime show and that poll work.
Yeah.
Because
Look, Gina has been on this poll work ever since. She's been
Yeah.
texting us, and she's like, "That poll."
It
It's
is
like the poll.
yeah, because you know
Gina
what? I am
wants
so,
a- Gina
Monica
wants
was
a
on
poll.
the show. We
Oh, yeah.
Good God, no.
Yeah.
No. Because the only way Gina's getting on that poll is if she's speared. I mean, like, it would be an accident for me to be in a poll like that. Listen, the only sport I think I one time thought I could do was ice skating, and that didn't go well. I mean, I squatted on my spurs, and it was all over with. So, yeah, no, not good. No, but you know what? At any age, anybody who can do that, but especially because I'm close to her age, I'm actually over her age. That was just amazing to me.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I have no
Yeah.
excuse. Like,
You really
you
don't
don't.
because you are young.
Yeah, you don't have any.
I know.
excuse.
I'm
was
2
like-
years older, so I have a little bit of an
Little
excuse.
bit,
A
yeah.
little bit. I'm
But
going to take
I
it.
think both of them, though.
Yeah.
Just
They both were
They were good.
amazing.
unbelievable.
I can't shake
Unbelievable.
my hiney,
No,
even
I
with,
can't
like,
either. Mm-mm,
Rocky and John
nothing.
Paul on either side moving me. I mean, I
Well, they
can't do
can't
it.
shake either, so
No.
it always
Dang, Jackie.
I'm sorry.
That's not shade. That's just
not-
fact.
Right.
Okay, we're not denying
It's in the
any of
DNA.
that. Yeah, no. Neither of us are. No.
You put three Italians together, and the only thing we're doing is rocking a boat. That's all we're doing.
gosh.
Yeah, no,
But
I
can you
watched
change a light bulb?
Yeah, John.
Yeah, right. Change the light bulb. Yeah,
Not a problem.
It's funny though to hear the criticism,
comments, yeah.
the
There's always
righteous
gonna be
people
that. It's so
that are
ridiculous.
appalled.
Yeah.
know
but
what?
but they're okay
Rose-
with the cheerleaders being out there shaking and doing
No,
what
they're
they
probably
do.
not. But they're
Then don't
they're
Yeah,
watch
streaming
it.
yeah,
it.
they are.
I was going
But
say,
they didn't
turn
have
the
to
channel.
watch it.
Right,
Yeah.
turn the channel.
Yeah.
Listen, stand by what you're going to do. Go ahead, go out there, be
I
proud and loud.
agree.
Hold
But
your
I mean,
head up.
it was in
Yeah.
Miami. It was there's a big Latin population there, and I thought they represented
thought
them
it was
well,
so
and it was
awesome.
good.
I thought it was great.
good.
Yeah, I thought it was
great.
incredible.
It was an incredible show.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and I believe it was one of the most watched
It was.
shows.
think
It was
was.
watched more than the game.
Well, yeah, oh, yeah.
The radio, yeah. it was
People
watched
turned
more.
in. Yeah, people turned in to watch the show. So
Yeah.
it delivered.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They did.
I thought it was a good
incredible. I was like, I was like,
Yeah, no, it wasn't
Stop,
like that
stop.
at all.
You're gonna hurt someone.
John Paul. I was like, John Paul, am I doing
You're
it?
gonna put your eye out.
No, you're not
Gonna put
doing
my eye
it. I'm like, okay.
Not
I'm
at
gonna keep
all.
trying. I'm
Good
not gonna
show,
give
though.
up though.
Yeah, don't give up.
I will
Don't give
never
up.
give
My
up.
hips
Never.
do not lie.
That's right.
So
They don't.
All right.
The
They tell
hips
all
don't.
the
They
truth.
don't lie.
And
No.
neither do we.
Exactly.
Oh, boy.
Anyway,
Yeah, it was
so
it was
all
a
the
good
harsh
show.
Italian mothers in here. I'm
Yeah.
scared now.
You're fine. We just make you stronger.
I think I don't know. Do the guys get as much criticism for the halftime show?
No, because
Well,
Adam
I don't
Levine
know.
took his
I
shirt
didn't
off.
say-
He got a lot
I
of
saw- I was
criticism
gonna
for
say,
that.
he did
Yeah.
last year, didn't he?
He got a
Take
lot of
his sh-
criticism for taking his shirt off.
He did?
Yeah, he did. People were like, if that was a
Oh,
woman,
really?
they would have never flown. The Janet Jackson thing was like the biggest controversy ever, and he did get some.
But they didn't have
Oh.
their boobs weren't out though.
Well,
they were.
Janet's was.
What that
Well,
that was
Adam
that
Levine's
was
boobs
then.
were out.
That was
you
then.
know.
Whatever.
It is.
Yeah.
Hashtag free the nipple.
I know. Let it go.
That's a new movement there, Rocky.
It's not a new movement.
Oh,
It's
is
a
that?
movement, no. I didn't
Okay.
start that.
Oh, you didn't.
Remember,
Okay.
we're old.
funny.
We're
Yeah.
behind the
I
times.
thought it was a new movement. But
For us, it
No.
was.
It is. It is for us. Yeah.
No.
Yep.
We do got some other holidays though today.
we
Yeah.
do.
Yes,
do we
we've
have?
got National Chocolate Fondue Day.
Didn't we say last week
Yeah.
whoever brings up
You're
food needs
supposed
to bring it?
Yeah.
Oh well, my bad. So we've got. Now I'm gonna do the ones I like the least first. So then we've got National Weather Person's Day.
What?
That's an
Yeah, that's a thing.
interesting
Yeah.
holiday.
I don't know why they get celebrated for always getting it wrong.
Right.
I'm not,
right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's why I always bring layers. So then it's World Nutella Day.
Oh,
Nutella.
Nutella.
I know. I was like,
And you
And
don't,
graham
you don't have that
crackers.
either?
I am scared to sit next to all of you right now.
I don't. What? You like it?
Oh, I
You
love
don't
Nutella.
like Nutella?
I was just shocked. When I was in Chicago and they had a whole shop and people were lined up to go
Oh my
in.
god, I would
Oh my
totally.
God,
do
it's
I
that.
was still like
So-
standing there going,
On
it's a
graham
Nutella.
crackers? You don't.
or on toast, or on strawberries. Oh my god, Nora.
Oh, you're not Italian at all.
No.
And then it's National Singing Day.
It is.
You should be
So,
singing. Okay.
I will be.
All right.
And then this one saved the best for last. It is National Shower with a Friend Day.
That's a weird
So-
one.
That is a weird one.
That's
I was like,
really
that is
weird.
really weird. But I thought
I
it was
shower
funny.
with my friend on any day. Doesn't have to be us.
Which friend would that be, Nora?
I'm not telling.
Me, myself, and I have a good time in the shower.
Did you see there was a post on Facebook? There was a little thing that went around. This woman, she had a young son, and she was having difficulty getting him to take a bath. So at night, she took a picture of him, and then she photoshopped some cockroaches on the picture. And in the morning, she showed him the picture. She took care of his problem.
Wow. I wouldn't
That
have
is
thought of
awesome.
that. but
Not a
that's
great
pretty
story.
good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well,
Anywho.
Let's move on. We got a great guest today.
we do.
Do.
We're
Okay.
going to reverse age today.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it. Sign me up.
I
Our
know.
guest is-
We're all going to be Chinese.
Lucinda's going, wait a minute, I didn't make that promise.
There's a disclaimer. Can we look,
Right.
can
we look like her? How's that?
Yeah. All right. Go ahead. Let's get ready.
'Cause he rock cool.
Hi, Merc.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to The Nooner Show. We appreciate your support, and we hope you get inspired to take a leap of faith. Don't forget to subscribe to The Nooner Show wherever you listen to podcasts. You can like us on Facebook, get us up to that 2020 mark, and you can follow us on Instagram at The Nooner Show. Our show today is sponsored by The Parlor in Hadley, Michigan, a music-themed pizzeria where pizza rocks. Also, check out Happy Days Records and More, a new music and clothing store, and so much more located at 1801 West Genesee Street in Lapeer, Michigan. And from the makers of Dope Water, if you can be anything, why not be dope?
Why not?
This segment is designed to showcase the stories of talented individuals who had a wish and found a way to make it happen. They set goals, overcame obstacles, and turned setbacks into comebacks. Their stories are unique, interesting, and most of all, inspiring.
How many of us suffer from insomnia, anxiety, digestive problems? Don't all raise your hands at once. Our guest today has got some help for all of us who suffer from these things. She has discovered the truth about stress and happiness, and she's worked in a high-stressed position for many years. So she's going to share her journey from corporate world to her new business. The most amazing part of Luciana's venture for me is that she decided to take this leap of faith with her mother-in-law.
That's a whole nother show.
That's a whole other show. Luciana and her mother-in-law, Dawn, they took a leap of faith and set out to improve the well-being of others. Please welcome our guest as she shares her journey from the corporate world, and she'll talk about her new studio, the Breathe Yoga Salt Studio in Livonia, Michigan. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
And the first thing I said was, I
That
thought
is
you
the
were a
first thing.
lot older. You look very young.
Yes.
So
Thank
we
you.
want
Yeah,
to know.
we want to know.
Yeah. The
Tell us
secret.
everything.
It's working. And she has 11-month-old.
I
Wow.
know. Okay, so a new business with your mother-in-law. You have an 11-month-old, and you look fantastic. So
Thank you. I'm
We
a
are-
little crazy.
I don't know
all right.
how you can't be, but it doesn't show. So first of all, let's start with you telling us about Breathe Yoga Salt.
Yes. So Breathe Yoga Salt is a halotherapy and yoga studio combined in one. And halotherapy essentially is dry salt therapy, which means we're blowing dry salt into all of our rooms that we have, including our yoga room. And the benefit of that is you're inhaling the dry salt. It's helping to open up your airways very naturally and gently, minimizing inflammation, pulling out allergens and toxins. So it's a very natural alternative way to go for people who have respiratory conditions.
Oh, I thought
yeah,
you just
I
go
need
in the
to go
room and it
there.
was just full of salt and you just sit around in
Do
the
yoga
salt.
on salt?
Well, no, I just thought you just, not the yoga part, but you just go in the room and there's salt all around. But it's like
In the air.
in the air.
Actually in the air
Wow,
as well.
okay.
And
Can
we're-
you see? But you don't see the particles.
No, you don't.
Oh.
No, it's microfine
Really?
particles that are being blown into
didn't
the
know that.
air.
Wow.
So it's like spending the whole day at the beach, the amount of salt you're getting into your system.
Wow. Really?
Can you feel it on your skin, like when you leave? Do you know how, like when you're at the beach, you can feel the salt water? Like if you've spent the day at the beach, do you
No, you don't feel it on
You
your
don't.
skin.
That's
No.
amazing.
Yeah.
You might taste it a little bit on the tip of your tongue and your lips, but that's it.
Wow. So how
Wow.
much time would somebody spend in there to have that to feel that?
About 45 minutes is our average treatment time, and then we have an express service as well. That's 20 minutes.
Wow. So take us back a little bit, because it says, you were working for a Fortune 10 company. How did you transition into this? Like, that's a pretty big leap from
Yes.
corporate to
Yeah.
entrepreneurship in
Yeah.
a health lifestyle,
Yeah.
in a field. How did you make that leap?
Well, it wasn't a very conscious decision. It happened unwillingly. I was actually in this high-stress job, and in disguise, it was a gift. But at the time, it seemed like the end of the world. I had this idea of what my corporate and executive career would look like in human resources. I was on the fast track, and it just didn't work out that way. So I actually found yoga, meditation, breath work that really helped me get centered and grounded, and really helped me overcome a lot of the issues that was mentioned previously with anxiety and insomnia, and helped me work through that naturally and gently, to the point where I found that it reversed my symptoms and made me feel 10 years younger.
Wow.
So did someone say to you, well, you should try yoga? Did they, because you were, stressed out and all
Yeah.
of this. So,
That's
or
a good
or was it
question.
something that you found on your own?
It was something I found on my own. I was seeing traditional doctors, which were very helpful. They prescribed some medications for me, but in my gut and my core, I knew it wasn't the right path for me. So I kept knocking on doors, asking questions, did a lot of research, and then I found a naturopath doctor who helped guide me in that direction, starting with a whole food diet, and then from there recommending yoga, breath work. I mean, the diet seemed to work, so I was willing to try everything.
Was this the first time that you had tried anything alternative, or had you been open to alternative?
I was never
Practices.
really open to
And
it.
Oh,
see,
you
and see,
were.
that's the thing
Wow.
because
Right.
Sometimes I'm not saying everybody, but you get alternative things, and then it's like they turn out to maybe be like a quack, maybe. And you're like,
Right.
so-
Well, I think the challenge for me, though, was I had tried things before, but it was never a quick fix. What I
Right.
realized with the alternative and natural methods is you really have to be consistent with it. It's a whole lifestyle mentality change. So, and it's permanent. In my case, it was permanent.
Over
change.
what time period?
Yeah.
Did you start to make this process?
It was
this change.
It was about 6 months when I really started noticing the benefits on my gut health, my sleep, and then managing anxiety. A good 6 months for me. It's definitely different for everyone, though.
How did you flip that switch? Because I feel like for so many people, everything is instant. You know what I mean? We
Right,
want instant
right.
everything. How
Yeah.
did you flip the switch and say, okay, this is a lifestyle, and like, what was it that led you to that long
especially
term?
from corporate.
Yeah.
when
Right.
I'm in that kind of a
Now.
job. Yeah,
High
where
need
you got to
yesterday
have
kind
it
of
done
mentality.
yesterday.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I surrounded myself with people who were embodying what I wanted to embody. I just didn't have that in the corporate world. So I found a yoga studio. I really admired the instructor there. I ended up doing my yoga teacher training there as well. So that was my motivation. And at that point, I had, in my opinion, hit rock bottom, and I was willing to make any change possible.
Did you ever think when you first started this, like, did you immediately fall in love with yoga? Did you immediately think this is for me?
No.
Really?
Not at all.
I think
Yeah.
that's even more amazing in the story
Right.
because you're,
Yeah.
a one and done type thing.
Yeah,
Right.
and a lot of people think it's yoga is not. I tried to do it. In the morning on TV, they have an instructor on, and she goes through the whole thing.
I
And
want to watch that.
And oh my God,
I want to
watch
watch
you.
I want to watch Nora. not the show.
I want to
tried
watch
to do
Nora
I
in
will
her
say
house.
this too because I do yoga,
Yeah.
and I'm a weirdo. Like, I won't go to the gym without a trainer because I'm scared. Like, I'm afraid I'm gonna hurt myself. I'm gonna drop a weight on my head, or you know what I mean? Whatever. Like, but it's like the same with yoga. I've done it at home, but I with an instructor, like I just feel like it is so
And see,
different.
I've never
like you have to go to a class,
right.
with an instructor.
And when I tried it, even with the lady
Yeah.
on the TV,
That
and
does
I
not-
was like,
not
it
the
looked,
same.
it's not the same.
Yeah.
But it looked so easy. But then when I was like, oh my God, you really have to have some strength to do yoga. And I think it didn't turn me off from it, but it was kind of like, oh yeah, I can't do that.
Are you a quitter? No, you learn nothing those first 3 weeks.
Right.
Luciana, did you have an exercise routine or regime
Yeah.
or something that you had participated in prior to this, or was this a completely new?
I didn't have any
experience?
sort of routine per se. I loved trail running at the time when I made the time for it, but didn't have any consistency to it. But I found that the breath work through breathing really helped me, and it was meditative in a way, although I didn't realize it at the time. But yoga was the whole mind, body, spirit, all in one that really hit it home for me over time, right? I think it took about a good week of classes to really start shifting that perspective on, hey, this could actually help me.
What kept you going back?
Well,
Most
just
people
yeah,
would
Yeah.
have quit. You know,
Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, I can't do
would have
that.
done that first one if they didn't like it. Then I'm like, no, I'm out.
Well, honestly, it was just the people around me who embodied what I envisioned for myself. So I had the personal perseverance to continue with it. I felt a little achy. I felt not really flexible at the time, but I kept with it, and the postures kept becoming more and more accessible to me over time. And so those small wins I started noticing that kept me going back.
See, maybe I'll try
So
it
you
again.
keep bringing this up, and I think this is really interesting. The people that you surround yourself with and the people that you embodied, how did you kind of like form this little army of people, or like were they people that were already in your life, or were they people that you kind of were like, okay, I'm going to get to know that person more because they're what I want to be?
They were not in my life already.
Okay.
So it was literally at a yoga studio, and the lead yoga instructor there, the owner, was very empowering, which is where I did my yoga teacher training, and a few of the other folks there I got to know very well. But it was just, surrounding myself with those people more and more, I realized lifted me up. So I kept doing what worked.
Wow.
So
How-
I was just
Go
going to
ahead.
ask you, you were saying that's where you did your yoga teaching. So did you do the teaching? I mean, did you want to learn it so you could open up your shop, or did you
Good question.
just want to learn how to do it so you could teach?
I wanted to learn how to do it. I had the idea that I wanted to teach later, but it was
Okay.
more to deepen my practice as a student. So that's a common misconception for a lot of people, is if you go down the yoga teacher training path, you have to become an instructor.
Oh.
But that's not necessarily the case. You can actually use it to deepen your practice and learn more about the philosophy behind yoga and the body anatomy, etc.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We're all excited. How long had you practiced yoga before you started the teacher
Perfect.
training?
I think it was about a good 6 months consistently, I would say. And then before that, I dabbled in it a little bit. But the consistency is when I really started noticing the change.
And what would you say? What's your definition of consistency?
A 3 times a week practice.
So that's quite a commitment.
Yeah, it really
An
is.
hour at a time.
An
half
hour at a time.
An hour at a time. Wow.
Wow.
And that's a huge commitment, because if you ask us, do you have 3 hours a week to give? We're going
Yeah.
to tell you no.
No.
So I admire your dedication.
Thank
and your,
you.
You know,
How was
we're all
You be quiet.
excited.
I'll just say here. Go ahead.
How was your family? And did I take that question out of your mouth or no?
No.
No. Okay. And your, the people that were already in your life, after the job and you making this transition, did you find that the people that were already in your life were supportive, or were they kind of,
is she
did they
losing
back
her
off?
mind? Yeah.
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 Well, a lot of them didn't understand what I was doing, obviously, from a personal perspective, but they were very supportive and
Oh, that's
had
good.
understood that
Yeah.
my health was sacrificed through all the stressful experience I went through. So they were open to me trying these alternative methods, and they started seeing the benefit that I got from it and became curious about it too. So
Okay.
How long then did you walk away? Did you find? Oh,
I'm
sorry.
gonna hate you.
Everybody's taking your question.
I know.
And then you could be next, but let me ask this. So you get started, you get into this, and how much time had passed when you decided, I'm going to walk away from the high stress, the corporate world?
It was about 6 months. Yeah.
Wow.
So I left without a plan.
A quick jump.
Mm-hmm. It
Wow.
was a very,
you
very
left without a plan?
Yeah, wow.
Wow, no kidding.
It was really stressful then,
It was
right?
very
so
stressful.
how long after you got into yoga did you decide that you wanted your own business and get back into stress?
Right. Just a different kind. Yeah.
Yeah, different kind. Well, the business part of it has always been in me. I went to business school, and I knew I wanted to incorporate it with the wellness at some point. I just didn't know at what point and how it would look because I was still going on my healing journey. So how long after? I would say about a year. I really focused on myself. Healing myself from within was really my focus for a good year. And then from there, just the opportunities started opening up to teach private lessons. And then I started down the health coaching route a little bit too with integrative nutrition health coaching.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So that incorporated the whole food, the holistic perspective on well-being, not just the physical aspect of it from yoga.
So everything was just falling into place.
So were you
Everything.
taking classes? Like, how did you learn all that? Or did you learn all that at the yoga studio, like the nutrition part?
That was the classes, the nutrition part was online through the
Okay.
Institute for Integrative Nutrition.
Oh.
It was a
wow.
year-long program, and it was a great program because the first half of it was designed to help me improve myself, my personal well-being from a holistic perspective, and then after that was implementing it with clients.
Wow.
What was the biggest improvement that you noticed right away with you?
After going down the yoga path,
Yeah.
and I would say it was just my choices in life. They were more supportive of the life I wanted to embody. So it's just those small wins every single day, just making those choices that would support my holistic well-being. That meant turning down happy hour opportunities, right, that I used to go to, and toxic relationships that were no longer serving me. So that's how it
wow.
started.
See, she had a vision board without actually having a board. See, Jackie?
Well, you don't know that. Do you have a vision board?
I do.
She has a vision board, Nora.
I knew that.
She has a
I
vision
knew
board.
that already.
And I'm
I
happy
could
for
tell
her.
when she was talking, the way
Yeah.
she's talking and stuff, she has a vision board. So
she
I figured that out. Yeah.
All right. So the question: how did your mother-in-law become part of this experience and this journey?
So I didn't know her at the time I went down this path. But I'll try to make it short here. I met her son, who is now my husband, in my old corporate job.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So that's how we met. That was in Cincinnati. And from there, I had always known he wanted to return back to home, which is Michigan. And so I came to Michigan with him, and that's how I met his mother,
Okay.
Dawn, who is now my business partner.
But how do you
Yeah.
go? But okay, so you marry into the family, and then you
Yeah.
say, "Hey, you want to start a business?"
Right.
No.
Yeah. How did that
How
happen?
did that happen?
So she actually has a cousin in Florida who owns a halotherapy center, and she had actually become intrigued by the experience that she experienced in Florida, in Sarasota. It's called Salts of the Earth. So that's where she gained the inspiration, and she knew I was going down this holistic wellness path. I had the business background. So at one point she asked me, hey, what do you think about this opportunity? Is this something you would want to pursue? So we'll combine our forces together and create a hybrid, almost like a wellness center and a yoga studio together.
Wow.
That was really cool.
And you were like, okay.
Actually, no.
Right.
She was like, hell no.
No. Initially, I said, no way. I don't want a brick and mortar business. It had nothing to do with her. She's an amazing woman. She's not what I envisioned a typical mother-in-law to be. She's very supportive and loving. But
What are you saying about mother-in-law? She's very supportive and loving.
Right.
That she's seen on TV. That was her point of reference.
right.
I'm helping you out here.
But I had slept on it overnight and thought about the idea the next day. And I said, all right, why not give this a try? And I couldn't think of a reason why not to.
Yeah.
And what did your husband say?
Yeah.
You want to do what with that?
He was a little hesitant at first, for sure. But they all have it's a big family business as well. So family business isn't foreign to them.
Oh, okay.
So they were supportive of it over time.
And how did you guys put together a business plan and
plan.
define the roles? And
Well, I used a little bit of my business background in that, creating a business plan. I pulled from some resources online, honestly, and then we went to the Small Business Association in Livonia to help out with putting our business action into reality.
and did you both agree on like separate roles, or how does that work? Like who does what?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we actually didn't get that granular with who should be doing what. In our minds, it was both of us should be doing everything.
Yeah.
Which was important at the very beginning, so we could just learn how the business operated, and then we naturally, organically just found our little niche. So she's very good with the operations, ensuring everything, everyone
Runs
gets paid,
it,
everything
yeah.
runs smoothly, and then I focus more on the bringing in progressive wellness programming into the studio.
Oh, that's great.
Partnering with various practitioners, creating a platform for practitioners to help elevate their business as well.
Now, before you guys started the business, did you go into other, research, go to other businesses and see how? Okay.
Good.
Yes, yeah, that's a great question. Yes, we did. So, like I mentioned, Dawn's cousin owns that salt studio in Sarasota. So we went there. I spent a whole day training with her, learn how the business ran. And then before that, I worked and volunteered at a yoga studio as well, just to get a little bit more experience.
Okay.
How did you hire? Because I was looking at your website, which is very nice, and you
It is a
have
nice
like
site.
13
Yoga instructors. Yes.
So how did you
Yes.
hire them? Because hiring's difficult.
And were they easy to find? That's what I mean. Like, you're like, oh,
Right.
I'm opening up this yoga studio. It's like, I just need some yoga people.
Yeah.
You just go out. You're like, yeah, 13 of them. Right.
So that was a little daunting, to be honest with you. I didn't know the how, but I did know from my previous corporate experience in human resources that there were various search engines for jobs. So I posted on Indeed.com for yoga instructors.
Okay.
And honestly, the response was overwhelming.
That's what I was
Really?
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah, wow.
I included a little bit of information about our business, a link to our website, and the response was, wow, this is such a unique concept where you're integrating holistic well-being and yoga together, and a lot of people were genuinely interested in the idea. So we started doing yoga instructor auditions out of Dawn's mother-in-law's basement.
Wow.
wow, the whole mother-in-law is going.
Keep it going. Yeah.
Yeah, but can you see that? Come to my basement.
They're making a good name for mother-in-law. You know what I mean?
Like, I've always had a great mother-in-law. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You
have
know.
I.
Yeah. So.
Oh,
Okay, so
mine's
wait,
nice.
so they auditioned in
Yes.
the basement?
Wow.
Okay, now
Can you
that is-
imagine that?
No,
Like,
no, I
that's a little
can't.
shady.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hey, I'm going on this interview.
Yeah.
I'm going
the
to this
basement.
lady's basement. If you don't hear from me in 20 minutes,
I want to know, okay, you guys have been open for how long now?
For a year, a little over a year now.
Okay, so have you had, I know it hasn't been long, but have you ever said to yourself, I don't think I should have did this, or?
Absolutely. It
Yeah.
was very scary,
Yeah.
especially after finding out we were going to run the business and have a child at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right before we signed the lease for the
You
business
found out?
was when we found out we
Oh,
were
wow.
pregnant.
Wow.
So I asked Dawn, I was like, are you sure you want to get into this right now? But the only reason why it works is really because it is a family business and
Yeah.
it takes a village.
Yeah.
When I'm not at the
That's true.
studio, or when I'm at the studio, Dawn is helping out with Eva, my daughter. So it really helps. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it is scary. Some days I'm like, what are we doing? But just breathe through it.
Right.
Take one day at a time.
So oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, did you feel like having the experience with yoga, did that help you with the delivery and everything? Was everything?
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
understanding
good
what to look for when we were auditioning our instructors to make sure we're more alignment based. So we do work with a lot of people who have physical limitations in their yoga practice or injuries. We have some yoga therapists on staff too to help them work through that and present them with modifications to make sure it's accessible. So I sort of knew what to look for through my yoga teacher training. Yeah.
Okay.
So explain a little bit the salt therapy and what exactly that is and how that kind of incorporates. So like is the salt
Into
like so
the
you said
healing.
it's in the air.
Yes.
So how does that work?
Yes. So there's machines called halo generators that are attached to each of our salt rooms, and we essentially put in medical grade salt. It grinds it up and blows it into the rooms over the 45 minutes or 60 minutes for the yoga classes. And essentially that's what it is. It's microfine particles just floating in the air. That's the halo therapy portion of it. And then you're actually practicing yoga on a salt floor as well. So the whole floor is Himalayan
So it is
salt blocks.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So you get the added
That is
benefit.
cool.
So take us through, if any of us were to come and sign up, and some of us in the room, this side of the table, we don't have really any experience, no matter what she says she's watched on TV.
And she pole dances, but this one.
Yeah, sometimes. No.
Not at all. Listen, we talked about this. I can't even ice skate. So we come and what would
As
be
a
our experience as a
first-time
first-time
customer.
customer? Like we have no experience and no ability.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
You go to the basement.
Yeah, we have a basement class.
And I'm not coming up because I pulled something. Again, send help in 20 minutes.
So there's something for everyone at the studio. Our primary focus is the yoga. However, we do offer different salt rooms for different needs. So if you come in, we basically explain that the focus at our studio is to maximize your breath, and we use a tool called halo therapy, which is that dry salt therapy I explained. And I'll walk them through the studio. So we have the yoga room. So if you do want to have more of a physical practice while you're experiencing the halo therapy, yoga would be a really great fit for them. If not, I'll show them we have a salt lounge, which is a meditation and relaxation space. The whole floor is covered in soft Himalayan salt, and you can lay back in a lounge chair for 45 minutes and experience the benefits of the salt therapy.
Oh, so it's like taking a nap.
Yeah, you can take a
And the
nap, you
salt.
can meditate. It's really up to you. We can play a guided meditation. We play soft music typically, and then we have some fountains in the room. So it is a very grounding space to minimize stress.
Do you allow people to bring their technology in and work in those rooms? Or
No.
no technology.
No
No.
technology.
No, Jackie. No,
No,
Gina.
no.
She's gonna check. She's gonna check Jackie for lists, pens, and
Right.
paper.
Right, exactly.
Pat
No,
her
but
down.
it's a question, like
No,
like,
right,
is it
right, yeah.
like
Yeah.
and
What do
having-
they check?
But
their
I mean, if you're meditating, why would you want to bring that kind of stuff?
I'm not
because
saying I do or
everybody
would,
meditates
but,
with their
yeah.
phone, don't they?
Right, but people
Isn't there an app?
But people do things differently, and they're like,
Yeah.
well,
No, right.
Jackie may text me a list, or Rocky may need some help with something. Or,
Yeah, Gina would have to take her phone and
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
she could
I
respond to
wouldn't.
my list. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that I would. But it's
Yeah.
a legitimate
yeah,
question
you're right.
It is a
because
valid
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, do people get nervous if you say you can't
That's-
bring your phone
yeah,
in?
like well,
Absolutely.
I
Separate
call
Wow.
anxiety from their cell phone.
Yeah.
right, exactly,
Yeah.
because
It's a
people
real
are like,
thing,
well,
yeah.
I left the kids at home with the sitter, so what if she needs to text me or call
Now,
me or whatever? So-
does insurance? Does insurance incorporate? I mean, can they use their insurance for that? Or
know
are you
some-
getting into that part of it?
We're not. We
Okay.
don't. We're not tied with any sort of insurance. However, I know some employees have flex spending accounts that have an allotment
okay.
for alternative services, so they can
Oh.
choose how they spend their money. And this could be one way they spend their money. But a great question, and we are working towards partnering with
Okay.
insurance. I just don't know at what point that would
Okay.
happen.
Do you think you'll partner with corporations too to start programs for them? Because you now are on the other side of it, and you've been on both sides now, so you see the benefits. Plus, there's so much research now, and there's such a movement towards looking at alternative, holistic ways.
Well, and
Yeah.
just having a balanced
Right.
lifestyle and not being so.
Would make a better employee
Right.
if they're balanced.
Absolutely. So that is something that we're open to, and we have offered corporate memberships for a small group of employees to large groups of employees, so we can negotiate a special rate for them. But definitely that's a space that I would like to get more into to promote overall well-being for employees, because I know it can be stressful. And even if they have a short break during the day, I know some folks will come in for a 20-minute quick session for the salt therapy just to help minimize the stress, and that way they can return back to work more focused and on point.
Wow. Then I have to try that.
Is there? Do you offer classes for children?
That's
Yes.
a good question.
Yes.
Wow.
That's a great question. We do. We would like to offer more classes for children, but at this time we offer a family yoga class for kids from 4 to 11 years old.
Oh, how cool.
It's the fourth Saturday of every month from 12:15 to 1:15.
Have you found it? Do they enjoy it?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, because they can actually go in with one guardian, so it's an interactive experience for them and for the guardian too to be more playful.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and what about teens? Or do you get teenagers just because the anxieties and suicide and depression is in such a it's up 30% from the last 5 years
Yes.
with teens?
Absolutely. Yes, we are doors wide open for teens. We actually have a few teens that work in our work trade program that we offer there. So if they want to learn a little bit more about holistic well-being and want to immerse themselves into a little bit in exchange for yoga, that's something that we
So a
work
work trade. So do you work with schools for that, or do you?
No.
Oh, okay.
We don't work with schools. We just open it up to whoever's
Okay.
interested
That's
in learning
great.
more about it.
Oh, that's really cool.
That is.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home and put some salt on my floors.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same thing, but
Not quite.
Can't use
Nora.
Epsom salt? No. None of that?
No.
Never mind.
No, she said it's
Never
a
mind.
certain kind of salt. That's
I
the
can-
secret.
Medical
I can put
grade.
it. I can
Yeah.
put it in something and like blow
In a
it out.
margarita?
Well, yeah, that too, and then like blow something like blow it into there.
You're just
holy
making a
water. Is
mess.
that what's going on you or something? I don't think that's the same thing. But
No.
Again,
It sounds it sounds so relaxing.
back in the
though.
basement at Nora's house.
Yeah. I have a crawl space, so you ain't going to go down there. But it sounds so relaxing.
It does.
I'm relaxed.
Who
just
are
talking
most
about it.
who are most of your customers? Are they women, or what age are they men?
We have mostly women. However, men are welcome to come to our studio as well. Middle age, a little older than middle age as well, is what we see majority of there.
so
Do you
for
s- oh, go-
I'm cutting you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for anybody who's kind of like hesitant and just wants to make a change but's not sure, like what would your advice be since you've gone through this journey to kind of get somebody in the right direction? Like what would their first step be in your opinion?
I would say, obviously, come to our space. If you're not
one.
comfortable with that, I know one way I got started too was to actually watch classes on YouTube, yoga classes, just
Oh,
to
good
get comfortable with the movement and the postures. And then after that, there's various classes at the studio if you're comfortable coming into the space and giving it a try. I know at our place and some other studios, they offer a beginner yoga. So it's a more interactive class, and it might make them feel a little more comfortable transitioning into a flowy type of class.
So does a new customer start off with a consultation with
They
you? or-
can. Sometimes they'll just walk in and say, hey, I've heard about your space and I want to learn more. So we'll talk to them, answer questions that they might have, show them the space, show them and share the options that they have to get started. And from there, they'll schedule their first class and appointment, or they can just schedule their class and appointment online or over the phone.
What is your website?
It's www.breatheyogasalt.com.
Can we find you on Facebook, Instagram?
Facebook, Instagram.
And you
yeah.
have a special going right now, don't you?
Yes. So first class is for free for all students who are new to our space. And for new clients, if you really like the class and you could see yourself returning back, we have a new client special. It's $49.50 for unlimited yoga for a month and unlimited salt lounge access.
Wow.
So that's that meditation relaxation space.
Without your cell phone.
Without your cell phone.
Or a list from
That's a
Or
great.
list.
That's
That
a
is
great
good.
special.
Uh-huh.
That really is. So the first one's free,
Free.
and then
Yes.
for $49.50 you get a month of unlimited.
Unlimited
Ooh.
salt lounge and yoga. So you could come to a yoga
Wow.
class, then stay in the salt lounge after.
And your
For
location is in Livonia.
Yes, 33599 West 7 Mile Road.
And do you sell gift certificates?
Yes, we do.
Okay. How long is that special going on?
It is for another 6 months. We're having it go
okay.
on, so you can take advantage of it and enjoy
Mother's
it.
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there we
Perfect.
go.
Yep.
Valentine's Day.
guys.
yes.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Easter.
Yeah.
Pick
Easter.
a holiday.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
We'll all wear green.
Yeah. Right, for sure. So it's been a year,
Mm-hmm.
and like, how do you and Dawn feel about the first year?
We did it. We
Congratulations.
Yes.
Do you-
yes.
do
First
you-
year is always scary, but we did it, and we
Yeah.
know we can improve upon what we learned in the 1st year.
So do you have that dollar framed behind the counter?
That dollar
first
framed?
dollar
Oh,
ever
no. No, but that's a great idea.
She's got to go back and find
know.
it.
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think she would crumble it up. Now, did you and Dawn come up with the mission statement?
Yes.
You did?
Yes, and that's to help people breathe better and feel better using natural solutions.
That's awesome.
And see, I now I see the name. I'm glad because see when it said breathe, so I was thinking, you know, like you were saying, just learn to breathe, and that's what I was thinking. Not actually breathing the salt, you know. And I was like, oh,
I'm gonna try it. I'm like
Yeah,
so
please
excited.
do
It's
it.
just,
Yeah.
and I have
Do you-
asthma, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
all, and I'm like,
Well, and as a singer,
Yeah,
too,
that's what I
bet
was
that
thinking,
would
too.
really help.
wow, yeah, that
I gotta
would.
go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you guys know. I'm gonna report back.
Okay.
So
All
I'm
right.
gonna go see Tony. I'll take Nonna to go do yoga
Oh.
with me.
Oh yeah. Oh please. Are you
That-
in the
that
video?
would-
Oh,
yeah, that you
you
gotta
can't have your
videotape.
phone.
That'll
with
be
you. Oh,
good.
that would be
That'll be
wonderful.
good.
She has cameras in the facility, so we can get a good video of her while I do yoga.
That would be
She's going to go, what's with all the
hilarious.
salt on the floor?
Right.
Well, no, she's gonna say there's more salt in the sausage, or you put
We're located right next to the Italian bakery, by the way.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'll trick her. I'll tell her we're going to the bakery, and then we'll just slide right in.
So when you want to celebrate your win,
Yeah.
that you survived the yoga,
Yeah.
go and get yourself a cannoli.
there we go.
Wow.
And what are the long-term plans? Like, what do you guys have planned for? What's the vision for the next 3 years?
Well, we're exploring franchising.
Oh,
Wow,
yes.
really?
That
So
is
you
such-
really,
such a
you really
good-
do like stress.
Yeah. But she's
You don't,
breathing,
but you
Jackie.
do.
She's
I know.
like,
I know.
yeah, she's breathing.
Are
Take
you
deep
really
breaths.
already?
That's great.
We're exploring it, yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have plans to grow. When the time is right, if we meet the right partners, there's a lot of factors involved for sure, but we're definitely open to it.
Well,
That's
you know,
awesome.
when she was saying how she got all that feedback from the yoga instructors, like, yeah, this is great. So it's not like there's going to be a shortage of people for it. So you could
I
do
don't
that.
think so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, thank you.
And how do you get your vision across to your instructors? Like, how do you get them to embrace the same vision?
Well, that happened during the interviewing process, just
Oh.
to see what kind of journeys they've been on. And a lot of them do naturally embrace the holistic wellness perspective, not just the yoga, but there's different elements to well-being. So that was pretty organic and natural for them. I think it was just a short training to just teach them a little bit about the salt therapy and help them understand how to explain it to our guests and our students.
See, that, I was just sitting here thinking, you know, when we were hiring for the salon and stuff, you interview them. Of course, it's totally different than interviewing yoga instructors. But if you have somebody and they come out and they're doing a class or whatever, and you're looking at them and they're like, either they're high or they're, it's like, and you're like, okay, you're not right for us, that kind of thing. It's just in my head it's making me laugh because I'm thinking about it as you're hiring people because, of course, a lot of times they tell you what you want to hear, and then once they get in,
a whole different person.
Yeah. So have you had like issues with that? Have you, starting out? That's great to be, your first year and you haven't had that issue. That's really good.
Yeah, we no, we haven't had issues. I mean, there was also various touch points with the candidates up front, so it wasn't just the audition for the yoga class. I called them, communicated via email, so there were different touch points so I could get a good feel for them, but so far so good.
Okay.
Remember her background
right.
is HR.
Yeah.
So
right.
It's not like our background where we just shoot from the hip.
That's true.
But she smiled.
But you still can get fooled a little bit. No,
that's true.
Yeah.
No, you're right about that.
I think the most important thing for me was just to keep in mind that not to have that scarcity mindset.
Right.
Thinking, this is the only type of instructor that we're going to find, so I better just take him or her.
Yeah.
It was just trusting.
You didn't
that.
settle.
We didn't settle.
Right.
That's great. Yeah. I think that's one of the hardest things to
really
do when
is.
you own a business is not to have that mindset.
Right.
Yeah. That's
like
really
that.
good. What were some of the touch points? Like, with the interview, like what did you look for from a personality point of view?
I looked for the ability to connect with the students in the class. We had at least 6 students in the demo class in Mafalda's basement, and and just seeing how they interacted with each of the students and making sure that they were providing hands-on adjustments. We also provided some time after the audition to interact with the interviewers, the different owners there as well. So that was another touch point, just to see if they were friendly.
Did the students give feedback too? Like
the students gave feedback, and we actually had them fill out feedback forms as well.
Oh, wow.
So there was a confidential element to it too, so they didn't have to put their name at the top. So I collected those at the end, and we evaluated those results.
Wow, that's good. See, she didn't get. Yeah, they didn't fool her.
Does your mother-in-law have any business? Like, what's her business background?
Yeah, so she helps with the other family business, which is Villanova Construction in Farmington Hills. So it's commercial construction business, and she helps with the operations there.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So she's
well-versed. She's experienced.
Yes.
So I like that you call it an audition. Is that normal in yoga to call it an audition, or?
It's audition or demo class is another term for it.
Okay.
Audition has a very official feel.
Yeah, it does. It really does. I like that.
Me too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it if I was auditioning.
Right.
I know. Nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Well, that does add a little pressure. Which
Yeah.
is
It
does.
good.
Just a bit.
But then that helps you see who's good under pressure.
Yeah.
Who can stand out under that pressure. So, yeah.
So has the journey then to entrepreneurship, is it starting out the way you would have expected it, or have there been any surprises that you didn't think about, or?
Great question. Always surprises.
Yeah.
I think naturally I've always been an entrepreneur, just never acknowledged it.
Okay.
Even in business school, actually, I took classes towards human resources and other avenues, and had always been interested in entrepreneurship and never took those classes to
that
support
leap.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of that came pretty naturally to me. So just being comfortable with the unknown and pulling from resources when there's issues. So I'm very comfortable with
But
the unknown.
I'm still with everything happens for a reason. So
Yes.
your husband, his family's in the back. So it was meant to be for
It
you
was
to have a
meant to
place.
be.
Yeah.
I
You
recently
gotta trust it.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I recently read a quote that said, "You will be amazed at what you attract when you start believing in what you deserve." And I think that it just is the perfect summary of your story. Is that you knew you needed better, and it came. So congratulations to you and your success, and your mother-in-law, and your family, and your
the
journey.
baby.
And the baby.
Thank you. It's a very abundant time.
I like that.
I like that.
We need
Well,
to get our cookies
I was going to
here.
say, we're going
We
to find
do.
out what's happening in your future here because we've got our fortune cookies.
I think we should
Okay.
end it with, when we read our fortune, when you breathe yoga salt. Or
Okay.
make-
Yeah.
Yep. So we
That
toss
sounds
our
good.
Breathe
cookies.
yoga salt.
Okay.
And
When
then
you
whatever way
breathe
the
yoga
front
salt.
face, that means
Okay.
that fortune was meant for you. So, that one is definitely yours.
Okay.
Oh, that was mine.
That one is definitely mine.
This one's Jess's. I'm passing that over to you. And I think
All right.
this
You
one's
want to go
mine.
ahead, Gina, start?
Sure, if I can get it open here. Here we go. When you breathe yoga salt. All right. You will reach the highest possible point when you breathe yoga salt.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think
Really?
you will.
That's a good one.
What happens when you
Crush the cookie.
crush the cookie?
You got your cookie crushed.
Oh my
Wah,
gosh,
wah.
this is weird. Okay, you will enjoy good health
Oh,
when you breathe yoga salt.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Amazing.
that's crazy.
That's good. Okay, mine says good luck will come in the springtime
When you breathe yoga salt. Very good.
Yes.
Mine is a gathering of friends will bring you lots of luck this evening.
Oh,
What was the end?
when you
When you
breathe
breathe
yoga salt.
this evening.
What she said. You have prepared well. Your opportunity is coming.
Oh, wow.
Yoga
Yeah.
salt.
That was a good one.
Franchising's gonna happen.
Tommy and Frankie are going to be mad about this. It says you will soon achieve perfection when you breathe yoga salt. I was like, things can't be perfect.
Yeah.
Things can't be perfect. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to The Nooner Show. We appreciate your support, and we hope you get inspired to take a leap of faith. Don't forget to subscribe to The Nooner Show wherever you listen to podcasts. You can like us on Facebook, and you can follow us on Instagram at The Nooner Show. Our show today is sponsored by The Parlor in Hadley, Michigan, a music-themed pizzeria where pizza rocks. Also, check out Happy Days Records and More, a new music and clothing store, and so much more located at 1801 West Genesee Street in Lapeer, Michigan. And from the makers of Dope Water, if you can be anything, why not be dope? And you guys, don't forget, you can also check out Breathe Yoga Salt at breatheyogasalt.com.
Right. Thank you, Luciana.
Thank
Good
you.
luck with
Yes.
everything.
We
Yes.
love the name.
We do.
Yes.
Luciana. Yeah.
And I hope you'll come visit.
Oh,
Yes,
Got
we
little
will.
cards for you guys.
Oh, look at Rocky's gonna hoard them.
I am going to harm them all, yes.
Yeah, let's bring them here.
Yeah.
Oh, those are
Yeah, I don't need 'em.
nice.
And remember, sometimes the only mode of transportation available.
Is a leap of faith. Thanks for taking a leap of faith, and happy hump day.
Happy hump day.
Happy Hump Day.
It's a wrap.
All right. Oh my God, I'm so